If you rockin' with it, put your hands up. This the anthem. If you get up and get it.
Welcome back to another video. So this is going to be another training recap video. So I'm going to just show the highlights of my week, which are my Wednesday secondary squats, secondary bench, and then primary deadlifts, and my Saturday primary squats and bench. So this week has been week 4 of my 5-week training blocks. There's just one more week to go after this one. And in all honesty, it has been a difficult week. When it gets to my penultimate week of training, no matter how long my block length is, that penultimate week, I really struggle. And it's a common theme for me, and it happens every single block, so it's nothing I worry about, and I know to expect it now. But it's not even a physical struggle, because everything, as you see when you watch the training videos, everything moves well on the penultimate week, and that's not the problem. It's the mental strain of knowing that the block is nearly over and things are turning up and they are getting heavy. I will talk more about that later in the video, but let's just take a look at Wednesday's training and then I'll do a recap of that after.
This one for the winners if you with me, yeah. Hands up in the sky if you feel me, yeah. This one for the winners if you with me, yeah. Hands up in the sky if you feel me, yeah. It's the anthem. If I give you my word, that's what I stand on. Loyalty and trust is what I stand on. Family and love is what I stand on. If it's love, I got it tatted. Father, I'm not absent. I was working smarter back when they was working backwards. Do it for the gram, you only do it for a caption. Dropping back to back, but really I've been relaxing. I might go for months, I could go for years. If I take a break, I promise I'll be relapsing. Started from the mud, I just need attraction. Started with a buck, now I tell the label match it. Yeah, I've been my own boss. I took that leap of faith, yeah, I really dove off. Nothing I need to say, I let the work show off. For my kids, I go hard, gotta go hard. This the anthem. If you rockin' with it, put your hands up. Yeah, this the anthem. If you get up and get it, put your hands up. Yeah, this one for the winners if you with me. Yeah, hands up in the sky if you feel me. Yeah, this one for the winners if you with me. Yeah, hands up in the sky if you feel me. Yeah.
If you rockin' with it, put your hands up. This the anthem. If you get up and get it, put your hands up.
This the anthem. If you rockin' with it, put your hands up. Yeah, this the anthem. If you get up and get it, put your hands up. Yeah, this one for the winners if you with me. Yeah, hands up in the sky if you feel me. Yeah, this one for the winners if you with me. Yeah, hands up in the sky if you feel me. Yeah, it's the anthem. If I give you my word, that's what I stand on. Loyalty and trust is what I stand on. Family and love is what I stand on. Talking big, big. I knew that one day that I could make it big, big. I'm talking how to stay smoking without a sensei. Now we get up and do it like we got a big rig. It's getting serious, I know you're curious. Took some losses through the process, had me furious. But I got eyes on the vision, can't get delirious. Fall in love with the game and then you marry it. I think I married it. This the anthem. If you rockin' with it, put your hands up. Yeah, this the anthem. If you get up and get it, put your hands up. Yeah, this one for the winners if you with me. Yeah, hands up in the sky if you feel me. Yeah, this one for the winners if you with me. Yeah, hands up in the sky if you feel me. Yeah, it's the anthem. If I give you my word, that's what I stand on. Loyalty and trust is what I stand on. Family and love is what I stand on. If it's love, I got it tatted. Father, I'm not absent. I was working smarter back when they was working backwards. Do it for the gram, you only do it for a caption. Dropping back to back, but really I've been relaxing. I might go for months, I could go for years. If I take a break, I promise I'll be relapsing. Started from the mud, I just need attraction. Started with a buck, now I tell the label match it. Yeah, I've been my own boss. I took that leap of faith, yeah, I really dove off. Nothing I need to say, I let the work show off. For my kids, I go hard, gotta go hard. This the anthem. If you rockin' with it, put your hands up. Yeah, this the anthem. If you get up and get it, put your hands up. Yeah, this one for the winners if you with me. Yeah, hands up in the sky if you feel me. Yeah, this one for the winners if you with me. Yeah, hands up in the sky if you feel me. Yeah.
If you rockin' with it, put your hands up. This the anthem. If you get up and get it, put your hands up.
This the anthem. If you rockin' with it, put your hands up. Yeah, this the anthem. If you get up and get it, put your hands up. Yeah, this one for the winners if you with me. Yeah. Hands up in the sky if you feel me. Yeah, this one for the winners if you with me. Yeah. Hands up in the sky if you feel me. Yeah. It's the anthem. If I give you my word, that's what I stand on.
So as you can see, everything moved pretty well on Wednesday. So going in, the goal for squats and bench was roughly an RPE 7, no higher than that. And the goal for deadlifts was no higher than an RPE 8, but preferably closer to a 7. Now, I'm not too strict when it comes to my RPE scale. I just go into my sessions with an idea of how it should move. And if it doesn't move quite according to plan, then I know to just make adjustments going forward. So squats, I was really happy with. When the reps are as high as sets of 7, it's hard to gauge RPE because I do feel like a lot of it comes down to kind of work capacity. But my work capacity I have kept pretty high over the last year. I've kept some rep work in during the week, like pretty much year round. So I am accustomed to that high rep work, which is why I think my 7s have been going so well this block. So I was really happy for my 140 for 7 to move how it did. I think it was still really comfortable. I had at least 3 more reps, and if I really wanted to go for it, I'm sure I could have got 4 or 5 more out. Same with bench. My top single I was so happy with, that 3 count single at 105. The way I gauge RPE on bench is slightly different. I probably shouldn't really call it RPE. It basically is for me just a scale of how difficult it kind of is. And I needed to just know that there was still room to grow on that ready for week 5 of the block. And there definitely was. That 105 felt incredible. Bench is definitely the highlight for me at the moment. And then deadlifts were a little bit more interesting. So going into deadlifts, I knew 155 for 5 was not going to be easy, and it wasn't supposed to be easy. None of my training is supposed to be easy. If it's easy, it means I'm not working hard enough and I'm not going to improve how I know I need to and want to. So I really had to just give myself a bit of a talk before I deadlifted, especially because it was Wednesday evening. By the time I got on deadlift, it was already 9:30, and I like to get my session done by about 10, which is absolutely fine. Like, my sessions normally take me 2 hours maximum on a Wednesday. Like, I get in, I crack on. I keep my rest breaks incredibly short, especially for squats and bench, to prepare myself to have a little bit longer for my primary deadlifts if needed. So going in, I knew it was going to be difficult, but I also knew that my lower back has felt healthier in the last week than it has in months. So I knew that I had no excuse not to go in and just put max effort into that set. And that's exactly what I did. And you can see the last rep was a bit slower than the others, but that's expected. It's still not a light week. It was about an RPE 7, I would say. And RPE 7 doesn't mean easy. RPE 7 doesn't mean it's super, super comfortable. It means you've got 3 reps left if you're going to absolute max effort. So I'm really happy with how that moved. Everything I hit on that session has set me up nicely for what I want to be hitting on week 5 of the block. Obviously, you can't ever plan numbers perfectly in advance. It depends on how you feel on the day. Other variables will come into play. But overall, that Wednesday session was exactly what I needed. Then we will take a look at Saturday's session as well.
Some losses through the process had me furious, but I got eyes on the vision, can't get delirious. Fall in love with the game and then you marry it. I think I married it. This the anthem. If you rockin' with it, put your hands up. Yeah, this the anthem. If you get up and get it, put your hands up. Yeah, this one for the winners if you with me. Yeah, hands up in the sky if you feel me. Yeah, this one for the winners if you with me. Yeah, hands up in the sky if you feel me. Yeah. It's the anthem. If I give you my word, that's what I stand on. Loyalty and trust is what I stand on. Family and love is what I stand on. If it's love, I got it tatted. Father, I'm not absent. I was working smarter back when they was working backwards. Do it for the gram, you only do it for a caption. Dropping back to back, but really I've been relaxing. I might go for months, I could go for years. If I take a break, I promise I'll be relapsing. Started from the mud, I just need attraction. Started with a buck, now I tell the label match it. Yeah, I've been my own boss. I took that leap of faith, yeah, I really dove off. Nothing I need to say, I let the work show off. For my kids, I go hard, gotta go hard. This the anthem. If you rockin' with it, put your hands up. Yeah, this the anthem. If you get up and get it, put your hands up. Yeah, this one for the winners if you with me. Yeah, hands up in the sky if you feel me. Yeah, this one for the winners if you with me.
If you rockin' with it, put your hands up. This the anthem. If you get up and get it, put your hands up.
This the anthem. If you rockin' with it, put your hands up. Yeah, this the anthem. If you get up and get it, put your hands up. Yeah, this one for the winners if you with me. Yeah. Hands up in the sky if you feel me. Yeah. This one for the winners if you with me. Yeah. Hands up in the sky if you feel me. Yeah. It's the anthem. If I give you my word, that's what I stand on. Loyalty and trust is what I stand on. Family and love is what I stand on. Talking big, big. I knew that one day that I could make it big, big. I'm talking how to stay smoking without a sissy. Now we get up and do it like we got a big rig. It's getting serious, I know you're curious. Took some losses through the process, had me furious. But I got eyes on the vision, can't get delirious. Fall in love with the game and then you marry it. I think I married it. This the anthem. If you rockin' with it, put your hands up. Yeah, this the anthem. If you get up and get it, put your hands up. Yeah. This one for the winners if you with me, yeah. Hands up in the sky if you feel me, yeah. This one for the winners if you with me, yeah. Hands up in the sky if you feel me, yeah. It's the anthem. If I give you my word, that's what I stand on. Loyalty and trust is what I stand on. Family and love is what I stand on. If it's love, I gotta tat it. Father, I'm not absent. I was working smarter back when they was working backwards. Do it for the Grammy, only do it for a caption. Dropping back to back, but really I've been relaxing. I might go for months, I could go for years. If I take a break, I promise I'll be relapsing. Started from the mud, I just need attraction. Started with a buck, now I tell the label match it. Yeah, I've been my own boss. I took that leap of faith, yeah, I really dove off. Nothing I need to say, I let the work show off. For my kids, I go hard, gotta go hard.
So Saturday's session was a very good session considering everything. So I didn't train until 7:30 in the evening because it was actually about 31 degrees Saturday, and because I train in a garage, there's not a lot of ventilation anyway. It gets very stuffy in there, so I decided to wait until the evening to train versus kind of late morning when I normally would. So I waited to train in the evening. It was still about 25 degrees outside, so it was probably slightly warmer than that in the garage. But that's fine. I don't mind training in the heat, and I made sure to stay hydrated during the day. I ate as well as I could during the day, so it wasn't a problem, and I'm not making excuses for anything because actually everything moved really well. But one thing that I kind of want to address is I didn't feel great in that session, and I do genuinely put it down to the heat. Like, my legs felt quite jelly-like. I was sweating a disgusting amount, and overall I just felt very tired, lethargic, and I wanted to mention that, not to make excuses or be like, oh, look how well everything moved, but because I think a lot of people forget that things aren't always going to be ideal, obviously, but also all you need to do is just try harder. So my favourite cue this off season is try harder, because for me, technique wise, I've made a few adjustments lately. I know that, and I know what I'm doing. I'm not a lifter that has to cue things as she's about to lift. I just have to remind myself to put the work in. So before I approached the bar for that top set of 5 on squats, I was exhausted. I didn't want to do it. I was already disgustingly sweaty, as I mentioned. So all I wanted to do was just cool down, but I knew I had to obviously get through my session. I didn't want to just squat 150 for a set of 5. That was just going to make me feel awful. But I knew I had to, and I knew I had the capability and the strength to. It just wasn't going to be easy. And as I mentioned about the deadlifts, it's not supposed to be easy. It's supposed to be difficult. You just have to keep trying as hard as you can to make things move as well as possible to then obviously get stronger over time. And at this point, like, I have very ambitious goals of where I want to be, where I want my strength to end up, where I want to get. I'm not going to reach those if I don't work hard. And for me, for that session, and for both sessions this week, to be honest, because for both of them I was pretty tired and kind of exhausted, and I did struggle quite mentally on both of those sessions. It's just remembering that it's not supposed to be easy. Like, if I wanted an easy hobby, I wouldn't have picked a competitive sport. So I just want to mention that basically what I'm reminding myself of before every single set, whether it's top set, fatigue single, back offs, is to just try harder. Put the work in, because also, as you go through a training block, you're supposed to be building momentum up to that final week. And for me, the penultimate week of training is where I struggle the most mentally, because I know if I want to hit the numbers that I have planned for that final week of the block, then I have to execute on week 4, because week 4's weights are high enough that if I don't concentrate and get things right, they're going to move badly and they're going to fatigue me more than necessary and take away from that week 5 top set or whatever I'm aiming for. So I need to make sure that on week 4 or the penultimate week, however long my block is, that I am 100% putting in that effort to make things move as well as possible. And I'm really proud of myself because I do feel like this week I've really done that, and everything moved probably a lower RP than expected. But I'm also very aware that going into week 5, I'm going to have to mentally switch on and dial in as hard as I can. But that isn't something I ever struggle with on the final week, because I love that feeling of lifting heavy. And that final week of the block is where you can just go for it and lift those weights. And it's the most rewarding week of the block, if obviously everything goes well. But I also know that I've done everything to make it go well. So I just basically want to talk about that and to talk about the cue of try harder. It's a silly thing that I saw recently on Instagram where a lifter basically said when he used to train around like the old school powerlifters, if something didn't move well, he'd be watching the video back and he'd be like, I just don't know what went wrong, I don't know what went wrong. And one of them would just say to him, why don't you just try harder? And that story kind of stuck with me. So if things aren't going well, rather than trying to pinpoint tiny little things that might have gone slightly wrong, like an ever so slight misgroove or technique change, just try harder. Don't rush things, take your time and put the effort in. But after that ramble, that is it for this week's video. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, please like, comment and subscribe. And I will see you next week for my final week of the block, where we are on track to hit some PBs.
Family and love is what I stand on. If it's love, I gotta tat it. Father, I'm not absent. I was working smarter back when they was working back.